last time splitting into pairs gave us a little bit more of an advantage, so we're going to try a little bit of deception and basically a breadcrumb infill. So we're gonna plan an infiltration route, and then we're gonna start dropping people off along the way and hopefully spread them out that way. And then once we're in our separate elements, and we're gonna start maneuvering around the battlefield, take on a little bit more of the risk instead of maneuvering in pairs, start maneuvering in singles and see how that works.
This one, we're going to do a very similar game plan, but we're going to try to take away the wood line or ambush them within the wood line because we know that's going to be critical to their approach to the building.
Yeah, they're trying to draw us in, so let's have you throw smoke on the north side on my call, and then myself and Alpha 2 are going to move to breach on the west side. How copy?
Yep, Alpha 4 copies. I'll move up and I'll call wind set.
X-ray team, we're adapting our defense. We're tightening our sectors of fire. So now we have our humans. That we have one in building 9, and then we have one close by in another structure, and then we have our drones in close in order to be ready to strike. But our drones are sitting on top of rooftops. We're trying to only use our ISR up loitering so that we mitigate your Alpha team's ability to see where they're at.
Alpha 4 set.
Alpha 2, let me know when you're ready.
Alpha 2 set.
Alright, net call, this is Alpha 1. Here's how we're going to do this. Alpha 4, you're going to throw your smoke, see if you can draw that payload drone to your direction. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to clear the wood line and try to get it to blow me up. And then after that, Alpha 2, you move to breach. How copy, over?
Alpha 4 copies.
Alpha 2.
Just trying to hit the drone up top.
Yeah. Brian's gonna throw smoke and try to get the drone to come to him. Okay. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna break the wood line and try to get it to come hit me.
And I'll go to the breach.
Yeah, you're gonna vote. Rob's right over there. Wait for my engagement to end, then move to breach.
Yeah, during our entire maneuver up to the target building, it was obvious that the drones were not flying in the sky. So, like, okay, how do we take our time now?
We're just massing drones now. It's just strike, strike, strike as you move to breach, and then we've got guys inside, and you saw Jack there. Jack then maneuvers from the other building in order to come there, and I'm just strong pointed inside of building 9.
Yeah.
And so now it's, hey, we got one guy left. We just got to eliminate that final Alpha team guy as he's trying to move in and clear. And we've got the advantage of humans, and we've got the advantage of drones right now.
splitting up like that. We have a team member whose comms went down, so we haven't been able to communicate effectively. Nevertheless, we were able to execute the plan that we wanted to, and we created a frago while we were en route. So as the situation was developing, we modified our plan and then communicated that as best we could amongst the team, and came up with a frago or some sort of audible to adjust to the posture they had set with the drones. So they had some drones loitering up in high places. They were just waiting for us to break our concealment to come in on the attack. Real world, could we have shot them from a distance? Probably, but in this scenario, it forced us to think a little bit harder about what's the safest way to do this. So yeah, we put a good plan together, and then we executed as effectively as we could.
So ultimately, X-Ray Team won the last iteration. It played out how we wanted. We used the same plan as before, but we executed a lot better. So our drones were more effective and got kills, and then also our ground maneuver element, our X-Ray 2 was able to ambush and maneuver on them and then get to building 9 in order to reinforce me, which was pretty darn effective to eliminate their final guy.
So clear X-Ray victory coming through on lane 7. What we haven't talked about is the mission planning phase, where you're gaining some amount of situational awareness on the target or on the scenario before actually moving into it or pressing go. To what extent was that useful in this scenario? In other words, using tools like Farsight to get a 3D vision in advance of moving into the terrain.
Yeah, it's really powerful for 2 reasons. One is that being able to do really rapid line of sight analysis and then do measurements, it allows us to see where that dead space is, identify our axis of advance, and where our breach points we want to be in order to either think about where the defensive sectors of fires are going to be or where people are going to try to maneuver to breach as well. So great planning tool with that. What's also important is how quickly you can use it, and you can use it there at the individual level. And we're taking advantage of that because what you got to remember in each of these iterations is time starts once we get the warning order.
Right.
So we don't even know our mission. As soon as we get our mission, time starts. So we can't waste a lot of time planning. So we got to be able to do that planning expeditionary, and we got to be able to do it rapid as well, or we're going to lose enough time in order to accomplish the mission.
And the dynamic nature of these types of battlefields that we're trying to lay out here is such that, like, even if you maneuver on the battlefield, the enemy is going to be maneuvering at the same time too, right? So having that tools like that readily available, that where any 2 guys on a team can rapidly communicate a change in plan and then execute what is essentially an entirely new plan is critical.
So the uncertainty for Alpha moving into this iteration was no drones up, where are they, what's happening? And then in order to test that and really get the scenario cycling, you had to actually move into the danger zone, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, just the short distance, we're talking like less than 15 meters from woodline right into the building. All the risk of that entire operation was built in, it was in that distance right there. And then as it laid out, as we just saw, it happened so rapidly that even when we try to meet their dynamic nature with even more speed, it just started unraveling on us.
Yeah, and the pace at which X-Ray started employing drone strikes, right? So it came one after the other in that open danger area. That seems pretty critical to the, saturating that spot and eventually leading to a win.
Yes, 100%. And so it's a key thing for like a takeaway for anybody is what you're seeing as a microcosm of that measure and countermeasure cycle within it. And so it shows you how there's not a silver bullet for tactics and techniques, and there's definitely not a silver bullet for technology. And so as you do one tactic, if it's effective, most likely your enemy's going to immediately figure a way to try to mitigate that because it was so costly. And the same with technology. It's why the best technology right now is open architecture, open source, or highly modifiable within it at the user level, because you've got to be able to adapt it at the user level as things change. Because if you have a really successful technology, again, the adversary isn't going to just lay over and let you win or die. They're going to adapt how they do measures or countermeasures against you. So you got to be able at the user level to modify. You can't wait for a field service rep to show up and help you solve that problem.
Let's check out the 8th final lane.